The 1970s marked a dramatic shift for the American muscle car, a cultural icon of the 1960s. Renowned for their powerful V8 engines, sleek designs, and accessible price points, muscle cars dominated the roads and captured the spirit of a generation. However, as the 1970s unfolded, a combination of government regulations, economic challenges, and changing social attitudes reshaped the muscle car landscape, leading to a decline in their golden era. One of the primary factors that impacted muscle cars was the implementation of stringent emissions regulations. In response to growing concerns about air pollution, the U.S. government introduced the Clean Air Act of 1970, which set strict standards for automotive emissions. Automakers were required to install catalytic converters and adopt other emissions-reducing technologies. While beneficial for the environment, these changes often reduced engine performance. Compression ratios, which directly influenced horsepower, were lowered to meet the new standards, causing many muscle cars to lose their raw power. Iconic models like the Chevrolet Camaro, Ford Mustang, and Dodge Charger saw their performance figures diminish significantly. In addition to emissions regulations, the 1973 oil crisis delivered another blow to muscle cars. Triggered by an embargo imposed by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, the crisis caused gasoline prices to skyrocket and fuel shortages to sweep across the United States. Muscle cars, notorious for their fuel-thirsty engines, suddenly became impractical for many Americans. Consumers began gravitating towards smaller, more fuel-efficient vehicles, often imported from Japan and Europe, leaving muscle cars to languish on showroom floors. Safety regulations also played a role in transforming muscle cars during the decade. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, introduced new requirements for crashworthiness and occupant protection. These mandates resulted in heavier vehicles with reinforced bumpers, crumple zones, and other safety features. The added weight further hindered the performance of muscle cars, diminishing their once thrilling acceleration and handling. Economic factors compounded these challenges. The 1970s experienced periods of inflation and economic uncertainty, reducing disposable income for many Americans. Muscle cars, while relatively affordable compared to European sports cars, became less appealing as practical vehicles became a higher priority for budget-conscious buyers. Insurance companies also began targeting high-performance cars with skyrocketing premiums, further discouraging ownership. By the end of the decade, many muscle cars had either disappeared or been significantly altered. The once mighty Pontiac GTO, often credited as the first true muscle car, was reduced to a shadow of its former self. The Ford Mustang underwent significant downsizing in 1974 with the introduction of the Mustang II, a model that prioritized economy over performance. Despite these setbacks, muscle cars never completely vanished. The 1970s laid the groundwork for their eventual resurgence in the 1980s and beyond. Advances in technology, including electronic fuel injection and turbocharging, allowed manufacturers to balance performance with emissions compliance. Today, the muscle car legacy endures, with modern iterations of the Camaro, Mustang, and Challenger blending the spirit of the past with contemporary engineering.